Okay, if your pond now looks like this, you may want to consider doing a full drain and clean this spring. Let's talk about it. Okay, it is mid-March and it's notorious. The ice is starting to recede, pond is looking a little gnarly, and customers are calling in panic because they see this nasty algae all over the pond, never mind anything else that might have blown around and blown into the pond. So we notoriously get a lot of questions. Do I need to do a full drain and clean? And what is a full drain and clean? So that means it's kind of just what it sounds like. We're gonna drain your pond. We're gonna clean the inside. We're gonna shop back out all the inside. We're gonna power wash the inside. We're gonna get all the debris out of the pond and get the pond back to square one. Think of it like a good facelift on the pond in the spring. But there are a lot of functional components to this, and customers are always wondering, it's not an inexpensive process. Do I need to do it every year? And the answer is maybe. So the reality is, let's look a little bit closer at this pond and some of the things that you're looking at, and help determine whether we need to do a full drain and clean. So as I look around the pond, on face value, it looks nasty. We got debris in here, we got algae all over the place, but I can see down to the bottom of the pond. My fish are active. You can see they're out spawning, but by and large, I don't need to put nets on my pond in the wintertime, but in one of these last big storms, lots of debris blew into the pond. And the ornamental grasses that are surrounding it haven't been cut back yet, so in that storm, they're starting to blast through. A lot of this is cosmetic, but if I am busy, and when I look at a pond to determine whether I need to do a full drain and clean or not, is can I see my fish? So the fish are out, they're swimming around, they're happy. They don't mind a little muck in the bottom of the pond, but water is getting murky. The leaf debris that blew around in this storm, this string algae is actually superficial. It loves cold water. It flourishes under the ice. So as soon as the ice receded, but I'm not feeding the fish at this time of year, and I'm already noticing they're eating quite a bit of it. So I don't mind leaving the string algae until we can do the full drain and clean. But I don't put the net on the pond. I run it a lot of times well into the winter time and then just shut it off as soon as it goes through. So I know I'm going to start the spring with a lot of debris in the pond, and this is what will start tainting my water. Once the water starts to warm up here, because I have so much debris blown through in the wintertime, I do a clean out every spring. But when I get through and look beyond the cosmetic things, if I see 6 inches of leaves in the bottom of the pond, then yes, you probably want to do a full drain and clean. If you look around the pond and the water's pea soup green, there's surplus nutrients in there, yes, you want to do a clean out on the pond. So some of the benefits to doing a full drain and clean is it gives you the ability to take your fish out. So this process, we're going to drain all the water out, we're going to take the fish out, we're going to hold them in holding tanks. That's a great opportunity to look up close and personal with the fish, make sure there's no blemishes, make sure they look healthy. Then it's a great time to get all the debris out. And although the aquascape ecosystem ponds are a powerhouse of a filter, the whole pond is one big filter because of all that river stone. I recommend that even if you skip a season, so if you were diligent in the fall putting a net on your pond, you went through the winter, you didn't get a lot of algae, your water's crystal clear in the spring, do you have to do a clean out? Not necessarily. It's a great time. There are benefits to fix your lighting, replace lighting, do anything you need to do to get the pond up the way you want it for the spring. But it's not ecologically, in my opinion, necessary as long as you were diligent at keeping your pond clean. But if you look at the pond like this one, never got the net on the pond, you got a lot of leaves from the big storms that came through over the winter. Before that organic matter starts decomposing as the water warms up, yes, you're going to want to drain the pond, clean that out, get all that debris out of the pond. If you're going to skip, a lot of customers start picking and doing just startups. So that means we're going to clean the filters, hook up your mechanics, get everything functional, but we're not draining it and cleaning it, power washing the inside. I do recommend that even for the people that are the most diligent at keeping the pond happy and healthy and full of out of debris, I do recommend that every second or third year minimum, you do that full drain and clean. We're kind of mimicking Mother Nature here. Every 2 or 3 seasons, we get an extremely wet season. What that's doing is all the estuaries, the waterways, Mother Nature's kind of like flushing the system out and turning over that water really well. And that's what we're mimicking on these ponds. We're giving Mother Nature what she needs to keep the pond happy and healthy, so the fish stay happy and healthy, But every 2 or 3 years, we do need to drain that, fully drain it, clean it. I don't care how big or small your pond is. It is what is best, in my opinion, for your pond. That's it. If you don't need it picture perfect and you're diligent at keeping the pond happy and healthy and the pond looks good, your lighting is good, everything's going through, then yes, you can just start up, clean your filters, clean the intake of your pumps, shop back out the skimmers, the biofalls, replace filter pads, and then get the system back up and start enjoying it. But if you really want to make sure your fish are prepared for the season, especially if you have a lot of big fish in a small pond, you cannot afford much debris buildup in the bottom of that pond before you're going to start having diseases and problems with the fish. Keep an eye on it. Let the pond tell you what it needs. If your water's been good, you haven't had algae buildup, you haven't had debris buildup, you can skip a season as long as you're taking care of your filters and fresh bacteria. But at the same time, if you're not, any questions on the water quality, much better be proactive, do a full drain and clean, get the system off to a great start this spring, and you'll be thanking it all season long, because how well the pond handles the spring kind of dictates the summer. Hope that helps. Take care.